Alright, welcome to a flipped lecture that's designed to kind of show you how you should successfully format your papers when you submit them to the English department. And the reason why we're so picky is that college is picky, and there's a certain way that you should do things. So what you should see on your screen right now is my desktop. So you may just want to watch this video and follow along, maybe jot some notes, or you might want to pause and grab a computer or grab a laptop and pull up to something to where you can kind of follow what I model here. But what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to open up Microsoft Word. And the first step I always tell students is just to completely erase what's on here. The new versions of Microsoft Word aren't formatted to the way that you should format your papers. So if you take your cursor and go up here to see where I click no spacing, it just kind of erases everything that's there. And that's the first step I take before I start typing anything. And then I start formatting. So I'm going to go over to the font and change it to Times New Roman. And then your papers should be in size 12 font. Now the heading of your papers is what's important. And there's a certain way that you should do it. So the first thing that you should do is type your name. So the student name goes here. Underneath that is the course name. So you're in honors, 10th literature, or you may be in a different course and you will just substitute it with that. Underneath it is your teacher's name. So there's my name. And then the date. So we'll act like today is September 2nd. Now you can change the date to the day that the paper is due or the day that you submit it. One thing you may notice is that everything is single spaced. So the quickest thing that you can do is to highlight what you have. So you can either just do like I did with my cursor and highlight it, or a simplistic way is on your keyboard, Control A will select everything, and then what you need to do is hit Control 2, and it double spaces it, and your formatting is correct. So after you've done that proper heading, you'll hit the space, the Enter key one time, and center it. And this is where the title of your paper goes. All papers are required to have a title. I don't like papers with bland, boring titles that say title, my paper, persuasive paper. Titles are a first impression and should convey the overall main idea of your paper. I had a student once who would come up with these crazy kind of weird titles that didn't make any sense but piqued your interest. But once you read her paper and you got to the conclusion, she summed everything up based off of the title and hooked it back in. Very, very cool. Overall, in terms of the grade, the title doesn't carry any weight, but it's a great way to kind of round out your paper and show that you've put in some proper thought to it. So your title goes there. You hit Enter, move your justification back to the left, and you're ready to tab to begin your paper. Simple as that. That's the proper formatting that you have. Now, if you have want to add a heading into your header, which you'll do for research papers, which you will do for papers of some length, what you're going to do is simple. You can just double-click at the top of your page and see where the header pops up. The header tools will pop up at the top of your screen. See the top where it says green header and footer tools? In order to format anything, you'll need to go over to the home screen. But let's act like you're going to add a header to all of your pages. You'll go over here to the home, and just like you did earlier, you're going to clear it out by clicking no spacing. Your header needs to have page numbers. So you don't type the page number. What you go and do is you click on Insert. And if you see over here at header and footer, it says page number. If you click page number, you have a list of options. You want it at the top of the page, and some other options should pop up. And what you want is plain number 3, to where the number is at the very right of your page. So you click it, and if you notice, there's the page number. What goes there then is your last name. So my last name is Johnson and space. So then you'll just need to highlight it, go back to home, and change to Times New Roman 12. And you can just double click and boom, you're out of your header. what this formatting does is, say you start writing your paper and you've got all of this writing, and then you go to the next sheet. Do you see there then how your header is automatically popped up on your next sheet? It does that for you, and it makes it very easy to then keep track of your papers in that kind of sense. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like this, that you've written several pages. And at the very end of your paper, when you cite sources or you're doing research, you need to have what's called a works cited page. So I'm just going to briefly roll through that you can return to this when I require you to have a works cited page. So you're going to click center, and you're going to type works cited. You're not going to type page, you're not going to bold anything, you're not going to change the size. Notice up here that you're still at Times New Roman 12. So works cited, one enter down, and then you're going to go to the left. There are lots of students either change all the font and size or spacing of it. I'm going to just make up a citation here just to kind of show you how to format. I'm not necessarily concerned on the look of the format, but how to kind of space it. So if you're doing an MLA format, maybe your author's name is Matt Johnson. The web page that you're getting it from is Top Novels of American Literature. You're getting it from a magazine, or you're getting it from a source where it's American Novels. And maybe that is accessed at a web page, www.americannovels.com/American Literature. The reason I'm making this up is because I want to show you the hanging indent that your works cited page needs to have. So once you type all of your sources, you're going to highlight, and then you've got to do a little bit something a little bit different with it. If you go up here to paragraph and you click that arrow, I think I did that too fast. If you go up here to paragraph, there's an arrow that's highlighted there. If you click it, it pops up indents and spacing. This middle one is indentation. And see over here where it says special, you click it and go down to hanging and click OK. And if you notice here, the second line of your citation now is indented. That's the way all of your sources have to look if they're more than one line. And say, I'm just going to type abstractly here, so I'm just going to keep typing and act like I've got lots going on here. Your subsequent lines at the same time will automatically indent. This done this way so that you can easily kind of see the separation of what source is which. Something else that you need to know is that your works cited page is alphabetized. So say that you have an author prior to Matt Johnson. Maybe it's something from John Adams, one of our former presidents. Alphabetical by the first letter. So A, it comes before J. There's how you do your works cited organization. And it's pretty simplistic from there. There are online sites that help you cite your sources. Citation Machine, lots of websites will have it for you. But we will provide you with an MLA style guide, because not everything out there is updated, not everything out there is accurate, and it's important that you know how to find that information and design it yourself, because it will hurt you in the long run not to know how to do a citation, because MLA and APA and other forms update regularly without high awareness. So now you have this video to look back to for research and to cite your papers. If you have any questions, please see an English teacher.